ebusuafo na etifo ni die kwan so me ma obi bia akwa ababacha ni so me pacho aha daily update TV eni die kwan so say na no first time abacha ni so amesra so bu kwan so tie news ni we na so wani gye subscribe for more updates, like and share our news ma lovers and so nya news ni bi enti nyakopon sha na onya okese me pacho wutin so wo comment bi so amesra say constructively o de be share comment section ye beje na yaken kamidas bebre me pacho. That was 2 days ago and NDC for pie ba bontinde nsembe tudwa na omo nsem ni nyina ne say EC actual krata akoma omo NDC for ne say omo from agents mbra na EC ni pesa ye or printed ballot papers any pools any or yeah that is a one of omo pools no fine and NDC for so chiro krata akoma EC ni say na wo say your friends a voter register no a provisional enye final register nti ade ntina yemfa ye agents mbra chance in a print ado peso sisi ana so NDC party no anka say resist ye na me pacho ye koda sorry ya Jemensa and I say the EC led by Jemensa epia babontin say sa nsema enam enam social media na NDC for kan enye ne kre just say wo ma retract o ma twema no just say o ma twa san kora in because so one and NDC for so omod project which everything was clear ema ye nyina ye nya bi hwe ema ye hu say ampa isi na actually krata na koma NDC for now no Jemensa say NDC for dey nsem mo ka na ye ntro no on sha say kra so pesa dey or printed ballot papers of which I name say isi no like truthfully speaking isi no hard to trust the EC. And they say, and I will rather trust the NDC than trusting the EC, which is EC, which is led by Jemensa. Because look, nyema bebre, bra omoka se BVR machine bia irane EC na pia babontin beka se nyen later no saba no beka an obe admit ye. Na say on anytime NDC for the BB bia NDC for nsem omoka ne nkre wom. Now so we pie ba beye bibia nukre bia ndi obeka no wia no asa beka so I would rather trust the NDC than trusting you your friends say the EC. Oh you see an ntia busuam patron come news ni nyina ne say EC apia ba bonti abe retract or say nsem ono de onyansha ase so by printing just NDC for mounted pressure one so kan nsem go no so wie no afi de wa pia ba bonti abe retract men say omre yenkoni nkoti audio no for ourselves me da se bebre.
It's a key issue of the Electoral Commission saying that they are going to do printing of ballot papers. So at the end of the day, the NDC said that they should hold on, etc. But then that also means that we're just closer to the election. If you take a look at all the events that have happened in the immediate past or just recently, it also means that the Electoral Commission is pushing forward. The election is closer than we think, 57 days. What do you make of all these events ushering us into the main election?
Well, before I go to that subject, in the studio, I think, I don't know.
Lawyer Afwakwa. Enoch Afwakwa.
Yes, the attempt by members of government or the assigns of government to exculpate Dr. Bawumia, from the mess that we all find ourselves, I think is disingenuous. And he said we should not politicize that. But you see, when you go on that tangent, telling us that, oh, Dr. Bawumia is bringing this, bringing that. I mean, you see, sometimes it's as if we don't really know what we are about. And it is just sometimes quite appalling. I have heard Dr. Bawumia and Assign say that he is the best vice president ever to have happened. Okay, so if we have to agree to that, that's okay. But the point is that if we all find ourselves in a mess, spearheaded by the current government, of which you are the vice president, you cannot be the best vice president because you are part of the whole mess. The idea of that LI in itself, that was generated and applied, tells me that the entire government they are not committed to fighting galamsey. Because when you were coming out with that particular proposition or that LI, what were you thinking? That these people were going to take their licenses and go and sleep What were you thinking? And where were you thinking that they were going to work? Is it not the forest? Is it not? I mean, so sometimes you just don't get the genuineness of heart in some of the things that they do and say. We should all wait for the Bawumia to win the elections before we tackle this particular menace. I don't think that that is good enough. The EC. I think that I listened to Johnny's Bite this morning, or I think in the news, it appears that the EC is saying that communication out there that they are about to print the ballot papers, I think that communication is false. They say it's inaccurate. So if that is the case, then it means that it is much ado about nothing. We do not have any issue at hand. But if that is not the case, then it's quite appalling, to say the least, that you do not have a final register, which you had promised the stakeholders that you're going to do so in the next 2 weeks or so. If you don't have that, on what basis do you tend to print the ballot? So you will see that day in, day out, you are creating more suspicion for yourself. And obviously, the main opposition, that is the NDC, will not allow this thing to slide. Especially if they still don't have trust in the EC. Why? Because of the nature of the appointment that have been done over there. So it's as if they are always marking them boot for boot. And I think that in itself will ensure that we do have a free, a fair, and a transparent election. That, for me, is the way to go. So with respect to that particular question, I am inclined to accept the view that the EC says that communication out there is false, and I want to subscribe to that. Other than that, I think that what the NDC is saying, it makes a lot of sense.
Afakwa, 40,000, is it 975?
Yeah, polling stations. Yeah, certainly. The EC time that they will invite us and they'll give us
the criticism is that the NDC is putting the cart before the horse.
The EC is an incorrigible, sneaky constitutional body.
Why?
The EC wrote a letter to the NDC, 9th October dated. Today is what, 10th, huh?
11th. 2 days ago.
2 days ago. And this is the title. Request for party agents for the printing of notice of poll and ballot papers. This is the issue. Let me skip paragraph 1 of their letter and go to paragraph 2. This comes to inform you that the Commission will commence printing of notice of poll and ballot papers for the 2024 general election from Friday 11th. Today is what?
Friday 11th.
You see the tips? 2024. Yeah? At the following printing press, and there are 8 of them. This is easy. Notice of poll and printing of ballot papers. Then you come back today, or yesterday, saying that, oh, it is notice of poll, but we are not printing ballot papers today. What kind of organization is this? They are thieves. I cannot use any other word.
What's your supposition why they decided to maintain only the notice of poll?
The reason is simple, and Afokwa is not following. You cannot have printing of ballot papers when you don't have a certified register. How many ballot papers are you going to print? Because your ballots must be in tandem with your register. You don't have that yet. And you know the issues we raised with them. They said they were correcting it. This week we wrote to them that they should give us the correction. They said no, they told us that it's 2 weeks. Sneaky organization. You know what sneaky? Find from the register. And you know what an incorrigible organization is? Check those words. It fits this organization. You don't do things this way. You cannot even do mathematics in your office. So if you don't, if that is even when there are definitive figures. There are definitive figures and you can't do the mathematics. Now you don't have definitive figures. How are you going to do the mathematics? When we were registering, there were close of day figures. Every day, close of day figures were definite. Even with the definite figures, you couldn't do mathematics. Now you don't know how many people are in one police station. Because the police...
Because of the discrepancies.
And you yourself admitted that there are dead bodies. Dead bodies. Dead people on the register.
Or even transfers made illegally.
Legally. So you need to deal with all this. And then recently, there was a court that asked some 1,000. You've not done all these things. And you are writing to us.
So what's your point? The NDC's position is that we should have had the corrected register out first before.
Exactly.
And then examined.
Examined. And then we know that. So if we ask the EC today, what is the number of voters on the 2024 register going to elections? Can they tell us? There are a bunch of... It's okay.
Breathe well.
Because they are human beings, I don't just want... They are so incompetent.
All right,
Is it deliberate? Is it deliberate? Is it deliberate what they are doing? And I heard good luck, Jonathan, and I want to disagree with you that the EC has the capacity to do the right things or the needful. They have the capacity, but we have people in there who are deliberately ensuring that the right things are not done. That's what good luck Jonathan should have spoken about. It's not good because he, Afuakwa, is a peace-loving person. I am a peace-loving person. I don't want to be carrying my luggage on my back, crossing the border. Afuakwa is better off being in opposition and staying in Ghana than carrying his luggage and his mattress at the back crossing. So why do you want to keep Afuakwa in power? By all means. The tide will change again. It's not the end of Ghana.
I don't know why you use Afuakwa in opposition carrying.
Why? The tide will always
reminds me of the Rwandan bishop.
The tide will always. So why do you want to ensure that one political party,
Professor,
stays in power?
Senior can stay in opposition and
Dr. Asante
And Dr. Asante was given some what was he doing? Trying to hold brief for the EC that this letter has come to clear the air. Dr. Asante, I've read you this letter. They call us for balloting to print ballot papers and notice of poll. And they even said it was going to start today. The balloting of printing of ballot papers is going to start today.
All right. Just a minute each of this. What do you make of this revelation that apparently the letter that was sent to the parties and the NDC through Amaliba, they have the copy, was supposed to have the two actions done together. And now we're only being told that it's only one action. It looks like this sort of, I don't know whether it's miscommunication or the posture of the EC tends to create the perceptions that are being espoused by Amaliba.
Roland, are you referring to me?
Yes, you. Just a minute, please. Okay. 60 seconds.
Yeah,
a lot of time.
It's quite revealing listening to Mr. Amaliba on this particular letter. I have never trusted the EC, and I think that over the period, they've not been able to prove themselves trustworthy. The only time that I started trusting them was especially the demonstration that they did, I think 2 years ago at the IPAC. And that equally came from the actions and the scrutiny of the NDC in a very responsible manner. And so I think that once you are aware that you cannot trust this particular EC, and Afrobarometer data that came showed that Ghanaians don't trust the EC. And so all you need to do is to mark them good for good. That for me is the only means by which you'll be able to ensure that whether you lose or you win, you will do that genuinely. And that is the best way to go. So they cannot in any way trust the EC, especially those who have even been appointed to head this particular place. It just does not exude that kind of confidence that Ghanaians will have have in them. But by and large, I think that after that IPAC, I've given them that much respect. And I'm giving the NDC more respect, because if not for them, we wouldn't have had this particular register. But if you are putting the horse before the cart, the cart before the horse, I think that with respect to the EC, if indeed what Mr. Amaliba is saying is a truism, then I think that they still don't have to be trustworthy, and they will have to ensure that they are vigilant with the processes before the elections are conducted.
Okay, 60 seconds for you to
identify some 240 irregularities during the IPAC meeting. Were they able to produce even 10 of these irregularities that they told the whole people of this republic? The 15,000 transfer that has been done without a pathway and those kind of things. Were they able to establish all these things? You see, we have one country, and we cannot use political interest to destroy this beautiful country called Ghana. Let us lead the Electoral Commission to work in accordance with law. I believe should the Electoral Commission have written a letter to the NDC, and the NDC has any doubts about it, they might have communicated. I have a role to play as far as the workings of the Electoral Commission for my party is concerned. And I am not in the known of any such letter that has been sent to our party. So I believe that things must be done and must be done right. The Electoral Commission has issued an official
Maliba, who is representing the NDC, is lying.
I cannot say he's lying.
So what are you saying?
I believe that due process must work. The EC has issued a notice. And the notice, this is not the first time the NDC is doing same. It's the first time NDC is doing same. The 243,000 irregularities. Were they able to establish that when the IPAC meeting was telecast live for all of us sitting at our various homes and offices to watch? The media were present, CSOs were present. Were they able to put that on the table? Certainly, we cannot continue in this tangent. The NDC knows that they are losing these elections. They know whether Dr. Baumia is a weak candidate as being proposed by my learned senior here, Mr. Maliba, whether he's weak or not, the people of Ghana will decide. And I believe that the people of Ghana are voting for possibilities. They are voting for the bold solutions that will propel Ghana into the fourth industrial revolution. And they are not going for they are going for solutions that will be able to put our country ahead of others in the international system, that Ghana will be a nation of prosperity, wealth, and progress.
A minute.
Well,
I gave him 60 seconds.
Well,
Ghanaians, 30 seconds.
Yeah, Ghanaians don't wash their faces upside down. Ghanaians know the party that made life better for them, and Ghanaians would vote for John Dramani Mahama. The Ghanaians will not experiment again when they experimented with a driver, let alone a driver mate who has no license. So that one is a given. But what is more critical is the conduct of the Electoral Commission. And the Electoral Commission should have by now know that the NDC has got all its antennas up and surveilling. So by now they should have lowered their conduct of trying to be sneaky and trying to be incorrigible. Because from day one, the NDC was matching you boot for boot. Your mathematics, your simple mathematics, you can't. And when they catch them, then they say, oh, we were using choral draw. That's why the mathematics went wrong. Didn't we say that some names were deleted in the register? And they said that, oh, the names are not deleted. They are found in a...
Actually, we even opened the phone lines and got people who
and he's sitting there talking the way he's talking. We said that the names were deleted. And what they said was that, oh, no, the names can be found in a transfer list. The name can be found in the another list, transfer list and the something list.
Missing people's list.
No, it's a transfer list and
there's a missing.
There's something, yes.
Or misplaced people.
Yeah, something list. And I asked myself, on the day of election, if you go to vote, are they going to be dealing with the register or they are going to be dealing with a transfer list? And you see, they would have trained, and I told you people here, they would have trained their agents to say that when somebody is going to the transfer list to find his name, oppose it. So, an EC that cannot do mathematics, an EC that has announced presidential elections more than 3 times, would you be trusting that EC?
All right.
When the next time that EC is going to conduct elections?
Okay.
This EC is
Thank you very much. That's all of you.
EC.
And Mr. Fwakwa.
Ebusia me pacho me da se bebre. Said me kind for comment share comment section. Do you trust the EC or do you trust the NDC party? I choose to stand with the NDC party because omo nsem bi omo pie ba beka bia no ne kure wom omo ka no kure no isi ne mom na ya otaba oba no abe wa na wa be di bank later no asabe admit. So I would rather stand with the NDC than standing with the EC. Also for our comment share comment section na me pacho yebechini akenkan ebia na yekin me pacho EC final register number ya untimi nye printing of ballot papers. Just admit and understand. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. That was yesterday crying NDC for Rẻtr krata akoma EC ni said they were demanding for the register, that is the final register. Ma EC ni be APA babontin be can say or no one can chom so 1 week. One can't chom so more the you be more within 1 week into no munya abotre somewhere you know more EC ni so far and some more can you say 2 weeks. Now she say NDC for edit and identify anomalies voter register ni mobile ni say you admitted say ampa dead your friends and names your friends voter register ni and again so no illegal voter transfer no and that san some way na NDC for consent na more consent and the buying so is no peer babonten be admitting yema we nyina now no all say culture almost say because say in yema bi na easy because the NDC was actually requesting for forensic audit of which are easy no your friends and rejected what you say or rejected because on any say it is not within the frame of the laws and I said the range and I said the parameters of laws now on any year ejumano that is for I mean I think a fair enough because Ghana is governed by Emrani, that's the constitution, which is the law. That is okay. And she says, "Sana tell what show mo say, Obama more the final register. Oh man, on for final register no more. So on form agents in Branda Moncha saying printing of ballot papers. Are they? Upesu we are moana. Easy yes ro. We beg, pa. We are pleading with you. Easy. Just do the right thing. Thank you."